For 25 seasons, the Rockies have finished somewhere beneath first, all too frequently looking up at the Dodgers in the division. Tonight, in one of the franchise's biggest series, the Rockies look to alter that history, to change the familiar narrative, to slay the dragon, and finally climb atop the NL West. In this silver anniversary season, the Rockies are looking for gold in Tinseltown. It's the battle for supremacy in the West. Colorado, Los Angeles, next. Great buzz around Dodger Stadium tonight. There will be over the next couple of nights as the Rockies a half game in front of the Dodgers with less than 2 weeks to play, trying to capture their first ever NL West title. And there are the standings. Don't count out Arizona. Obviously, they're not in the position they had hoped to be at 4.5 back. They led the division for most of this summer. So they're the top 3, and the top 2 play beginning tonight in LA. It's the final 3 games this year between Colorado and Los Angeles. The Dodgers are 9-7 against the Rockies this year. The Rockies are at 500 at Dodger Stadium, 3-3. Charlie Blackmon ready to go. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order. DJ, Nolan, the top 3. Then it'll be Trevor Story, Matt Holliday in there against the lefty Ryu. Ian Desmond. Cargo will play right field and bat 7th. Drew Gutierrez doing the catching. He'll bat 8th in front of John Gray. The Dodgers put a shift on for Charlie. He had a double leading off the ball game yesterday, and he takes strike 1 right down the middle. Ryu facing the Rockies for the first time this year. They beat him up pretty good late last September.
Well, the last 3 times they beat him up. He's 0-3 with a 10.50 ERA against the Rockies in his last 3 starts. So they kind of know what they're getting. His numbers for Ryu this year: 4-3, 242 in 12 starts. His last couple starts haven't gone well for him. Took the loss against the Mets, and his last start against Cincinnati also took the loss. This is where it kind of is interesting because there's really no pattern with all those fastballs and cut fastballs and how he likes to throw them. He'll mix it up in any count.
He misses outside there, and he's going to have to shave corners. He does not have an overwhelming fastball or a great moving fastball.
Yeah, especially since coming back off the DL and a couple of years worth of arm problems.
Yeah. 2-1. And this ball is fouled off down the left field line, and it is out of play. 2-2. Dodger Stadium always favors pitchers, not to the extreme that AT&T does north of here in San Francisco. And of course, the Rockies didn't swing it very well in San Francisco. They scored in only 1 of 27 innings. Fortunately, it was a 3 spot in the 2nd inning yesterday, and the Rockies pitching staff made that hold up as the Rockies salvaged 1 of 3 against the Giants, and coupled with the Dodgers' 5-0 loss in St. Louis, moved back into first by that half game. Here's the 2-2. And that's sharply hit. And a good play by Machado, long throw, and he's going to get Blackmon. So a sparkling play by Manny Machado on a hard shot by Charlie.
And they couldn't have played this any better as far as positioning with Machado, because this is a rope that he hits to Machado's backhand, and then he has the strong enough arm to get Charlie by a stride on the Subaru Supermo. I mean, that's just unfortunate for Charlie because that was a laser.
That'll bring up DJ with 1 out.
Well, I'm at field level, guys, and I've been in this dugout. Literally, I'm in the dugout with the Rockies tonight, and there's a different buzz. They know it's on the line. It's actually quite enjoyable to hear the guys talking. Every single pitch, right after that last nice play by Machado, the group was like, "We're going to get you, Ryu." There's just a different feel tonight, guys.
Pretty
well,
sweet.
You'd expect that. You know, Spilly, you've been in that situation, 07, 09, late in the season when so much is at stake. You'd expect a different buzz. And this is in the air to center field. This will be an easy play for Bellinger. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Nolan. Tonight's defense for the Dodgers is brought to you by Red Robin. Bellinger is an outstanding center fielder. He's unique because he can also go to first base, as you're well aware. Peterson on his left has center field abilities, and Puig has one of the best arms in baseball. In the infield, they've used 8 different starting second basemen this year, and Kike Hernandez gets the opportunity tonight. The versatile Kike Hernandez. Muncy just okay at first defensively.
Well, they sacrifice a little bit
at the first pitch and fouls it back.
Sorry, Drew. They do sacrifice a little bit of defense at first base for Muncy's bat. That's why you have Bellinger, you know, his ability to go to the outfield. I mean, he'll go get the ball, but he's not like a true center field where you think, you know, some of the other guys are out there.
1 strike to count on Nolan. And this is chopped in no man's land, and it'll be a base hit. With the shift on, Hernandez had a long run to get to the baseball, so Nolan reaches, and that'll bring up Story.
You know what, for Nolan, after going 1 for 12 in the San Francisco series, he had a double there. He'll take this little easy base hit to right field, and even if Hernandez comes up with that, that's why he bobbled it. He knew he had to get rid of it. So he bobbled it. Nolan would have been safe anyway, but now it brings the dangerous Trevor to the plate.
It looked like Nolan was purposefully manipulating his barrel to drive it into that 4-hole, but I don't know if I'd like to see Nolan take that swing too often because of the numbers he has against Ryu, but I'll take it. I'll take a base runner any day of the week.
Yeah, Trevor got the string pulled on him, and it's 0-1. Story in the San Francisco series 1 for 10, but there aren't glowing stats offensively for anybody individually. You know, the Rockies in the 10-game homestand, they went 7-3. They scored 63 runs. And then just 3 runs in the Giants series. And this is to Turner. And a successful first inning from Ryu's perspective. So it'll be John Gray's turn when we come back to Dodger Stadium. John Gray's on the mound for the Rockies. We're in the purple top. It is start number 29 for John. And he looks to flash back to some other starts he's had in his career against the Dodgers. All in all, he's 3-3 with a 383 against LA, and he's had 10 opportunities in his young career to pitch against him.
Yeah, and he wants kind of a redo from his last start against LA 2 starts ago out in Denver, where he only lasted 4 innings, had 5 walks in that affair. The slider usage this year is 34%. That's up from last year, which was right around 27% for John. I think the key with him, obviously, you know, we say it almost all the time, is fastball command to be able to get to a good slider. And he has to be able to work that slider down and into these lefties.
And that's where he needs to live with his fastball. That one just a little bit low. Ball 1 on Jock Peterson. Well, go figure. The Dodgers had a great 4-game set in St. Louis, winning 3. Saturday they score 17 runs as that misses. And then yesterday they're shut out 5-0. 6 straight innings from Adam Wainwright, the 37-year-old, kind of flashing back to a younger day, and they were limited to 4 hits. 2-0. And this is fouled back over our head. 2-1.
Well, you gotta go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, that's what you're going to get from the Dodgers. They're going to be swinging for the fences. That's the type of team they are. There's not a lot of single steal a base.
Well, to your point, and Spilly, you know this, they're 9th in the National League in hits, number of hits. They're 1st in runs. This ball's hit a long way to left, and this is gone. 1-0 LA. You talked about the home runs, and John unfortunately has given up a bunch of them. He's given up a home run now in 10 straight games. He's given up 7 in his last 4. He got a fastball up, and Peterson has the ability to hit it out, foul pole to foul pole.
In those 10 games, a total of 13 home runs. And as I was just kind of finishing, this is what they want. That was a ball that ran back over the middle portion of the plate for Jock Peterson's 22nd home run this year, his 51st RBI. That gives the Dodgers 213 home runs on the season.
Here's the toughest out in their lineup, Turner. He takes a curveball for strike 1. What I was saying is they're 9th in number of hits. They're number 1 in runs scored.
Well, they lead baseball with walk percentage over 10, and then they're 1st in the National League with home runs. So it's a pretty devastating combination when you consider they're working walks and they're hitting homers. You see where they are digging the long ball. 24 home runs in September, leads all of the majors, and they're only 2nd to the New York Yankees.
And again, this is what John needs to do, just shake it off. It's a solo home run, and 1 run better not beat you at the end of the night, so just move past it. And we talked about handling adversity, which is the key for any athlete, any baseball player, and particularly a pitcher. And with John, that has sometimes been an uneven road for him, how he handles adversity. This is shot to Story. What a play. Can he make the out at first? You bet. Well, Machado made a great play in the 1st inning to rob Charlie Blackmon. That one was even better by Story.
He went Superman to dive for this baseball. I mean, he laid out. Watch how parallel he is to the ground and off the ground. That is spectacular. Subaru Super Bowl. Look at that. Feet off the ground and then get up and make the strong throw, which we're accustomed to seeing from Trevor. And maybe this is the play for John to say, okay, you know what? The home run happened, but I got my defense behind me.
Spilly talked about in the open playing clean. That's beyond playing clean. That's doing above and beyond.
That's mopping the kitchen when your wife didn't even ask you to do it.
That's exactly what that is. And then some. and then bringing flowers back.
And baking some cookies.
Right. She get the picture. None of us have ever felt that.
No,
we know that.
No.
Here's the 0-1 on Machado. Here's something else. Buddy Black, Steve Foster, Darren Holmes. If John is aggressive, like he started out in his last outing and then all of a sudden started nibbling, but if John is aggressive and you get beat being aggressive, you can tip your cap. This is in the air to Charlie at center. But Spilly, Huey, you know what I'm talking about. Be who you are.
That's right. And for John, you know what? It's going to happen occasionally. You're going to give up the home run, but how do you respond from it? Don't start nibbling. Don't walk guys.
Here's the Southwest batting order for the Dodgers as Max Muncy steps up. They change things out considerably, especially when they see a left-hander. Puig, you know how hot he is. He had 5 home runs between Friday and Saturday night at Busch. Bellinger, Grandal, Hernandez. Curveball for a strike, and that's going to be an important pitch to get him ahead early. Muncy hits the fastball really well. Off-speed pitches can get him out.
And I think either off-speed pitch, whether you're going slider or curveball, something with a little wrinkle on it.
Still amazed with Muncy's season. He's near the top of the National League in OPS, on base plus slugging, and didn't spend one day in the major leagues last week.
No swing, 2-1.
Yeah, if they signed Max Muncy and said, you know what, I think at the end, you know, as we're heading into September, he'll have 32 home runs and 65 RBIs, you kind of would have been laughed at.
It's a great story.
Well, I think for any team that has aspirations on going to the postseason, and those aspirations are still legitimate this deep into the season, you're probably going to have one or two stories, I should say, that were unexpected. I don't know if you're going to have one as dramatic as this, though.
No, not at all. Not for somebody that, you know, didn't even play in the big leagues last year.
No. I mean, this one's a ridiculous one. 3-2, 2 outs, a run in on the home run by Peterson. And he walks Muncy. Curveball there. And that'll bring up Puig. Here's the Red Robin defense for the Rockies. Matt Holliday's out there in left field. Blackman naturally at center. Cargo is in right. The infield, you know them well behind the plate. The Rockies have been shuttling 3 catchers. Chris Iannetta, Tony Walters, and the recently acquired Drew Butera, who's very good defensively. And John can be not the easiest guy to catch, and that's not a knock on John. It's just, I mean, his stuff is really good. You get a lot of movement on a slider late.
Kind of like German Marquez. So, you know, the fastball might cut some.
Yep. Puig lines this ball to right center field for a base hit. Muncy will go first to third. And the Dodgers still in business here with Bellinger coming up.
Well, Puig was just named the National League Player of the Week because of his exploits in St. Louis primarily. Now he goes with a little soft single to right off the label, but the ball was belt high. And that allows him to fight it off. And with the walk to Muncy, he goes to third. Puig on that 10-game road trip hit .423 with 6 home runs, 11 RBIs.
And those 5 home runs he hit came against 5 different pitchers. The only other guy to hit 5 in 2 games was Sean Green. Here's Bellinger. And that curveball was overamped. This is one of those situations that we spoke of. Traffic early. Put this thing down right here.
And if you remember back to the series against the Dodgers in Colorado, it was Bellinger in the first inning that spun around a John Gray fastball inside for a double.
And again, a curveball, and it's way up high.
I think that's what John's thinking about, is remembering the pitch sequence he had to Cody Bellinger.
Now, Bellinger is 6 for 8 against Gray with 2 doubles.
Well, now he's ahead in the count 2-0.
On the corner.
Good job by Drew to frame that ball.
That was a changeup.
Bellinger's not happy with it, but watch Drew how he has the thumb up. It just kind of frames it and turns it.
That changeup or slider that backed up a little bit.
Might have been a slide. It's just really weird the way it came out of the hand.
Yeah. 2 balls and a strike on Bellinger.
Oh!
That's a good pickup by Desmond.
This might give Brian Jones his first opportunity to take a peek at this, but Desi's thought.
Well, as he scooped it, he kind of tagged in the same motion on Puig.
Ooh.
Pretty close.
Real close.
That's what Ian Desmond was telling the dugout. That's really close.
Puig got his feet tangled up as he was going back. It wasn't a step and try to get back because he was leaning towards second base.
Not going to challenge. 2 balls and a strike. That was a better curveball, but it's a little low. 3-1. This goes back to one of the reasons the Dodgers are so tough. They hit a lot of home runs, we discussed, as Billy mentioned. They walk a lot, so they swing at strikes. You always have to remind yourself as a pitcher is in this situation, yeah, you're giving up a run, it's first and third. You're one pitch from getting out of the inning.
Exactly, and that's where he's got to focus, and John's got to look at this and say, if I make this one pitch, yeah, I gave up the 1 home run, maybe a couple of hits, a walk, but my goal when I'm walking off this mound right now after this pitch is to just be down 1-0.
And that's fouled off.
Well, if you remember back the start that John had against the Dodgers, he threw more sliders than he had the entire season in one game, the percentage of sliders thrown. And talking to him after the game, I was asking him if he lost confidence in his fastball. And he said, no, not really. I just felt really comfortable throwing off-speed pitches to the Dodgers. And guys, you have to trust the fastball.
Butera to the outside corner, 3-2, and here comes Muncy to the plate. He'll score. Puig to third. He is out there. But the Dodgers come up with 2 runs, a home run, and then on ball 4, it got past Butera. Not the way Colorado wanted to start. By the 2018 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. A couple of minutes from downtown Los Angeles, the Dodgers get 2 in the first. The Rockies behind the 8 ball early, but 8 innings of baseball left as Matt Holliday will be first up. They have not scored that officially yet. Wild pitch pass ball. but it cost the Rockies a run. It was ball 4. It would have loaded the bases for Grandal, and it's a ball I'm sure Drew Butera, not easy. He's got to reach back.
It still
Tough,
went off
tough
the edge.
play, but
Yeah.
you know, he's probably going to tell you afterward that he's got to make that catch. Holiday, who's been outstanding, quality at bat after quality at bat, takes strike 1 from Hyunjin Ryu. Spilly, what was take the temperature of the dugout when they all arrived back in there? What'd you see?
Well, I think there's a lot of chatter, as there has been, but it was, you have to respond. And there's some stern words, let's go. But these guys are extremely confident. They know what's on the line. They're going to encourage each other, but there was also a little bit of, you know, firm pat on the backside.
Holiday lined that one foul, so Matt's behind 0-2, and that's strike 3. Looked like he must have been looking for something else, because that was all over the inside portion of the plate. 1 out for a strikeout for Ryu, and that'll bring up Desmond.
For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch, and they're going to have to do this, be the comeback kids. 43 times they've done it, 20 times out on the road after the 2 runs that they allowed in the first inning.
Rockies had just 7 hits yesterday. Desmond had 2 of them. Outside on Ian. Hitting .280 with 9 home runs this year against left-handed pitching. Here's the 1-0. 2-0. Lance Barrett's calling balls and strikes. This is a veteran crew, as it should be for a series of this magnitude. Bill Welke, Tony Randazzo, and Mark Carlson. Well, the Dodgers have thrown the first punch. How do you react? How do you respond? This is on the ground to Turner, backhand side, 2 outs.
Carlos Gonzalez.
So one of the 2 lefties in the lineup. It's Charlie Blackmon and Carlos Gonzalez, and here's Cargo with 2 outs. 5 for 13 in his career against Ryu, including a home run. So he's had success against Hyunjin.
Cargo was really working on his leg kick today during batting practice, making sure the timing was there for it. It wasn't the over rotation.
Well, the Rockies need several guys to get hot. Certainly if Cargo was one of them, that would be awesome.
There's the shift on Carlos Gonzalez, and it's our StatCast AI. It's powered by AWS, with the third baseman Justin Turner sliding over to the second base side. We've already seen Manny Machado rob Charlie Blackmon of a base hit by staying almost in that same exact spot that he is right now.
And this is a slow ground ball to short. And the Rockies go quietly in the second to strike out 2 ground balls. 2-0 LA, middle of 2. Field for baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Consecutive games without a loss. John Gray's got 14 straight, which is the longest in club history. Ubaldo Jimenez in 2010 went a dozen in a row. It'll be the bottom third of the lineup for LA after they scored 2 in the first. Yasmani Grandal, Kike Hernandez, and Hyunjin Ryu, the pitcher. Dodger Stadium will eventually be filled. You know the routine here. It's tough traveling by automobile. First pitch strike.
John's got a rebound here. 25 pitches in that first inning for John, and Ryu just 20 pitches through 2 innings.
He needs a quick inning, obviously, and an efficient inning. We understand that he needs an inning where he takes command again on the mound. Here's the 1-1, and this is going to be the first out.
That was a good start because he got in the kitchen of Grandal.
But I have to imagine as a pitcher, when you're facing a lineup like the Dodgers or a lot of teams nowadays where you have multiple guys in a lineup, and the Dodgers basically have the entire lineup have double-digit home runs. But where you see aggressive swings, every single player in this lineup is going to take a home run swing against you over the course of the game. I would assume visually that looks different than anything you've ever experienced between Little League and high school and college and pro ball at certain levels.
That's where the ability to spin something first pitch comes into play. Just keep him guessing.
0-1 on Hernandez. Curveball's been good so far. As you said, he's had that ability. The 2 ones that he didn't get over the plate were to Bellinger. He ultimately walked Bellinger, and then the wild pitch allowed the second run to score. Of course, you don't know what would have happened had that ball been caught by Butera. You still have the bases loaded in Grandal. As it is, the Rockies are down 2-0 here, middle of 2.
Hey, Huey, when you were playing, how many guys in your lineup would take an aggressive swing every single at bat?
2 or 3.
Not the entire lineup.
No, you're exactly right. But it was a different style of ball you played. You tried to manufacture more runs, and now, the bunt is kind of obsolete.
That's a line drive on a slider right at Trevor Story. Hernandez is out number 2, and that'll bring up Ryu. Join in on the conversation tonight. Send us your questions, your comments, photos. Use Twitter. Include the hashtag ToyotaTalk. Ryu, a native of South Korea. And he takes a strike. First 2 years in North America, he won 14 games apiece for the Dodgers.
He's 37 and 28 in his career.
Crowd got excited. That's a foul ball down the right field line.
He's got a long way to go before he catches another South Korean-born pitcher in Chan-Ho Park. Chan-Ho, 124 wins in the major leagues. Young Kim's next. He had 54.
Young Kim in his time with the Colorado Rockies was my throwing partner. I would play catch with him in the outfield during batting practice because nobody would play catch with him. He would throw for so long.
You mean distance-wise?
No.
Time-wise?
The amount of throws he would make. BK.
Ryu's extending this at bat. John probably hoping to get this thing over in 3 pitches, get to the dugout. Two and 2. And eventually he wins the battle with the strikeout. So it is a 1-2-3 second. We go to the third. Rocky's got to figure out Ryu on the other side of things. League that includes Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado.
They keep talking about Lorenzo Cain there, and I'm looking at Yelich's his numbers.
Yeah, I would think, again, from afar, we're not there every day, but from afar, I'd kind of lean toward Christian Yelich. Lorenzo Cain's had a great year.
Yeah, Lorenzo Cain's had a fantastic year, but he's also the beneficiary of advanced metrics. And I don't always agree with them. When you start weighing certain numbers, that defensive metrics to build up your season WAR numbers, that's where my eyes just glaze over, and I'm like, no.
Well, because there's no consensus on defensive metrics in terms of their reliability. And that's not just my opinion, that's the opinion of people who have to make baseball decisions on a regular basis. That pitch called a strike. That was way off the plate to Drew Butera. It's 0-1.
Not even close to the Subaru strike zone. If he's going to get that call.
He's thrown only 20 pitches through the first 2 innings.
Well, just 8 pitches last inning.
Yeah, this could be an easy play in foul territory. Muncy makes the catch. Now Gray will come up.
Number 55, John Gray.
When the Rockies score 7 runs or more in a game, and they need to, it's been a few days, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Live Más at Taco Bell. Rockies have scored just 1 of their last 29 innings. John threw out a double in his last start. See if he can help the cause here.
Blast to center field.
Yeah, I mentioned that the Dodgers are first in runs scored in the National League. The Rockies are 4th in runs scored in the National League, which is really unusual. In fact, they've led the National League in runs scored in 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014. You have to go back to 2013. The last time the Rockies, that's called a ball, did not lead the National League in runs scored, and this year they're sitting 4th. It just underscores even more that the main reason that the Rockies are where they are has been their starting pitching, and the offense with great ability. They got terrific names. Obviously, we're talking about Arenado and Story being MVP type candidates, but it has been inconsistent.
And it kind of goes back to a point you made during the broadcast yesterday, that right now nobody that would qualify for the Rockies is hitting above 300.
And that's never happened before. 2-2. And that's strike 3. Second strikeout for Ryu. 2 gone. Nobody on for Charlie Blackmon. Charlie was robbed of a hit on a terrific play by Manny Machado, leading off the ball game. Charlie again the leading hitter in the National League in September. See, he's number 2. We'll see him next inning. Charlie also sporting a 9-game hitting streak. That got a piece of the corner, but it's called ball 1. The Rockies, with their win yesterday, won for the 41st time on the road, which matched their all-time best road record. Last year they won 41 times on the road, and in 2009. And they have 6 more opportunities to blow through that, and they need to. Next 3 here in LA, and then 3 more Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Phoenix.
And they need to be able to blow through that.
They have to.
Yeah.
If they want to win the division title,
Exactly.
they're going to have to, to continue to play that type of winning baseball on the road, not some several more wins out on the road and then have a big final 7-game homestand against the Phillies and the Nationals.
Oh, Tony Diaz trying to make a play. Didn't field it clean, but he stopped it. Now he's going to get razzed by everybody around him.
Dodgers same alignment as they had against Charlie the first time when he had 2 strikes. There's a pitch to drive that other way on the Subaru strike zone.
Charlie was on 3 times yesterday. Kind of emblematic of where the offense was in San Francisco. Charlie had the leadoff double in the game yesterday and never advanced, much less scored.
Remember too, in the 7th, he had the leadoff walk. Nothing happened.
3-2. So the Rockies concluded their season series with the Giants with a record of 12-7. That's matched what they did last year against San Francisco. 2-0 LA. Top of 3. 2 outs. 3-2 on Charlie. And the foul tip. He sticks around.
Ooh. Thought for a second that Grandal had held on to that. It's always a hold your breath moment as a hitter. You'll foul it off. You know you got a piece of it, and then you take a quick peek back to the catcher, and then you see the ball down on the ground. You said, okay.
And this ball's lined with authority to left, and it's misjudged out there by Peterson badly. And Charlie into second. We're watching it, and I'm saying he's not deep enough.
I agree. And then, Spilly, you can speak to this too, because at Dodger Stadium, with the bank of lights back there, did this maybe get caught up in those?
No, I don't think Jock realized how well that Charlie hit this baseball. Yes, this is one of the harder outfields to pick up the baseball, but Charlie really backspun it, which means the ball will carry. And it's a different audible sound for outfielders here at Dodger Stadium. You don't hear the same acoustics that you're accustomed to in other ballparks. Outfielders have to count on the sound of the ball hitting the bat.
Well, Charlie will take the double to extend his hitting streak to 10 ball games.
See if the Rockies can capitalize here with 2 gone. DJ hit a high fly ball to center his first time up. He's just 2 for his last 33 out on the road. Time to turn those numbers around. And there's another pitch that's off the plate away that was called a strike.
The early pattern I see from Ryu as far as how he tries to attack the hitters, if he starts away, he's going to try to finish you away, meaning that everything will work away. He might show you in, and conversely, if he starts in, that's where he wants to try to get you out.
Boy, a little 2-out counter punch here, the way this ball game has started, would be enormous. Rockies last September hit 3 home runs off of Ryu. They ran him off in a couple of innings, scoring 5 runs. One and 2.
A little cut fastball from Ryu.
Ryu has a real good sense of pitching. Cutter in, fastball up. He's got the off-speed pitch.
Well, the stuff's not overwhelming.
No, but he just has that knack. He reads swings, you can tell.
On the ground to second. So Charlie left at second after that line double that was misplayed by Peterson. Middle of 3, 2-0 Los Angeles.
the third. Matt Holliday, a man who has a lot of experience playing in meaningful games in September into October. One thing managers will tell you at this point in the year is that it is so valuable when you have guys who have experience in those games. So I wanted to talk to Holliday about what he can share with some of the guys who haven't had as much experience as him.
I think just going out and sort of just having fun, trying to have fun with it, take a deep breath and just play and try to do whatever you can to help the team win the game and not to put too much pressure on yourself. Really just try to treat it like any other at-bat. Keep your approach really simple and try not to worry about the results. You know, just focus on the process of having a good at-bat or making a pitch or you know, try to keep the game as simple as possible and don't look at, you know, try to look at the big picture too much and just focus on, like I said, find a way to help the team win, do something.
That seems to be the message amongst the guys who have experience.
Well, Jock Peterson just shot that down the first base line. He'll have a double.
He hit a home run his first time up with the ball that went away. This time he rips one past Ian Desmond. That's a slider that was up, just kind of spinning. And even though Ian is right on the line, he's trying to point that it was foul on the Subaru Supermo, but where it crosses the back, because it hit in fair territory prior to that. In any event, it's the 24th double this season for Jock Peterson.
But it's set up because the pitch was not a good pitch, obviously, but it's set up. He missed on his first two, so it's a 2-0 count. And good hitters lick their chops 2-0. Here's a great hitter in Turner. And that curveball is way over his head.
Well, to your point, Drew, the first time that Jock Peterson hit the home run, it was a 2-1 count after he'd fallen behind 2-0.
You know, I don't want to sound the alarm bells, but these games are going to be played like playoff games. And if, you know, John demonstrates here the second time through the lineup that it's going to be a struggle again, you're going to see action earlier than you ordinarily would.
And I think what you'd see, too, is one of the left-handers up there with some of the left-handers in their lineup. You know, and you have an off day on Thursday.
And it's another 2-0 count. Peterson at second. And it shoots by Desmond, and Peterson will stop at third. Margo firing it back in.
Well, this is a professional at bat from Justin Turner. Professional in the fact that there was a runner at second base and he tried to inside out this the whole time. He was thinking right field from the get-go. That just shows you he was trying to shoot that hole, and it gets past Ian, who slides and tries to make it. It was still hit pretty hard. But now again, you're behind the 8 ball for John.
Manny Machado at the plate. He had a fly ball to center his first time up.
Some jackets are coming off down in the Rockies bullpen.
Somebody's jogging to the mound right now.
I guess it might be Sam Howard. Or Harrison Musgrave, one of the two.
That's the best fastball, Spilly, he's thrown tonight, right there.
And it was at 94. His fastball has just been touching 93 throughout the evening. But it was down location. There was a lot more intent behind it.
Fly ball shallow center. Charlie coming on, can't make the catch. What happened there? Jogging home with the third run is Peterson. He wasn't going to go anywhere. I don't know. We'll have to look at it again to see if the last moment, did Charlie think Trevor was going to take it?
That's exactly what happened. Trevor was running out there
outfielder has
hard.
right away, Spilly, right?
Well, it's really hard to hear at field level, especially with the crowd going as loud as they are. Pay attention. Charlie's calling for it. Trevor's giving chase. And at the last second, I don't think Charlie believed that Trevor heard him yelling, "I have it."
This is almost like that ball yesterday in San Francisco.
Well, right now, you talked at the top of the broadcast, Spilly, about playing clean baseball, playing Rockies baseball. It's been anything but. And this ball is hit a ton to right center field by Muncy, and now you got an enormous problem. Three-run home run.
Talk about Muncy and jumping on fastballs. That might have been a slider. Yeah, it was a slider, but it didn't do anything. There was no break to it. 33rd home run for Muncy. And the Dodgers are flexing their muscles.
Well, the Rockies have been complicit. And that's a base hit. And with Harrison Musgraves ready, I think Buddy is going to make a move. Here he comes. Unfortunately for John, this game reminiscent of what happened in the wild card game down in Phoenix. Pitches were up, fell behind in counts. Describe it. The Dodgers up 6-0 in this first game of three, most important. The Rockies will have a lot of work to do. Harrison Musgrave's going to take over. Gray's gone after 2+.
Well, Harrison's part of that bullpen the last 5 ball games. 15 2/3, only 7 hits, 1 run, and that was yesterday. 16 strikeouts, just a walk, and an 0.57 ERA.
6 runs, 7 hits. John, this start, unfortunately for him, was similar to Spilly, some of the things we've seen the last couple of starts where he was getting behind in counts. The quality of his pitches, when they were located, they were typically up in the zone, especially the fastball. And his slider, he didn't have a good one tonight.
And he hasn't had that good slider for a while. That pitch has not been the strikeout pitch that we saw before his reset down in the minor leagues. And it has to be a pitch for him. When you have a lineup like the Dodgers, where you need to have some sort of fastball command and a good secondary pitch. The Cardinals pitched extremely well to the Dodgers yesterday. Adam Wainwright, great curveball, good fastball command. You can pitch to this lineup, but if you don't have a secondary pitch and you're not getting strike one, you'll have these results. I'm sure, Huey, you probably agree with me. It's alarming to know that John has not been able to find the good snap with his secondary pitches.
Well, exactly, because that was his pitch. That slider especially. Yeah, he had the good, a few decent curveballs tonight, but the slider has been that, his pitch throughout his career, his young career.
And Bellinger smokes that up the middle, so it's first and second. That is 6 consecutive hits here in the 3rd inning. For John, we can talk about the slider, and from start to start, any pitcher who goes out and makes 32, 33 starts, they're not going to have their entire arsenal. It's not going to be as sharp as they want each time out. I think, and John's said this before, that a lot of his issues sometimes are between the ears. Rondal will allow Puig to move up 90 feet on that fly ball. So it's first and third, one out, and the second baseman Hernandez will come up.
Number 14, Kike Hernandez.
That's the challenge of any big leaguer. You're not going to feel 100% if you're a position player going out there. Sometimes you're not going to have your A swing every time you go into a game.
He's got to, again, believe in himself and his ability and kind of play with that swagger. Tomorrow, Kyle Freeland, when he takes the mound, he thinks he's the greatest pitcher who ever lived. And you got to have that. I mean that in a good way.
No, exactly.
Listen, you guys are competing against the best players in the world. If you don't believe,
kind of the old line, fake it till you make it. Maybe even if you don't have, maybe.
And he doesn't need to fake it with his arsenal.
That's what I'm saying. His stuff is great, but that's where you've got to own it and say, okay, you and me.
Pretty good curveball on Hernandez, but no swing.
I think we saw that a little bit a couple days ago with German Marquez. Got a little ticked off there, and then he threw 97, 98.
Absolutely. You did see it. Punched out 2 in a row. Runner going 1-1, and a line drive to Story, and he can run it over to first to end the inning. Well, damage done. 4 runs. A 3-run home run from Max Muncy, and the Dodgers lead 6-0. by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru. And by Dish Network, better TV for all. Santa Monica Pier, still busy this time of year. 6-0 Dodgers. They have 8 hits. The Rockies have 2. 4th inning, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, Matt Holliday against Hyunjin Ryu. At the Dish is brought to you by Dish Network. Nolan with tremendous numbers in his career against Ryu. Came in 10 for 16, so now he's 11 for 17 with 3 jacks against Ryu. Rockies don't need a home run right now. They need a multitude of base runners. Find a way back into this ball game.
The picket fence. Score a running inning. You start building up a picket fence starting in the 4th, and you win a ball game.
I'm greedier than that. How about 2 or 3 and then the picket fence?
You're greedy.
Two nothing.
Well, you got the right guy to start off this inning. Nolan has a .405 on base percentage when he leads off an inning. So you got to take baby steps first.
Well, Spilly, again, I'm going to ask you, for the mood in the dugout, because you've been in there and you have a start like this, the most anticipated series in years. And, is there anger? Is there shock? What have you observed?
I've heard positive thoughts coming from the guys. They've been encouraging, but there's no question some of the mojo has been taken from this team with the start like that. There's no way around that. The team is looking for that energy. You're wanting the person on the mound to set the tone, and for the tone to be 2 runs in the 1st inning, that you try to get that momentum back, we're all right. And then another 4 spot, it takes something out of you. It takes a little wind out of the sails.
3-2. And other than that pop-up that was not handled out there in short center field, the other 5 hits were rockets. So the final line on Gray, 2+, 6 runs on 7 hits. A strikeout and a walk. 3-2 on Nolan. And this ball's high in the air to deep left center field. But it's going to stay in the ballpark. Bellinger makes the catch.
Well, fans of Phillies come to town September 24th through the 27th. You can catch any of the games with the Coca-Cola Value Pack. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, parking, and more, all for only $59 or $79, depending on your seat location. And those numbers you gave for John a moment ago, Drew, it jumped his ERA on the season from 4.80 up to 5.07.
Here's Story. And a strike on Trevor. He grounded to 3rd to end the 1st inning. Rockies come into this ball game despite having lost 2 of 3 in San Francisco with a 10-5 September record. That's best in the National League. The Dodgers are right behind them at 9-6 so far in September. Rockies with 13 left, the Dodgers with 12 left.
Real close. Look, it might even shave the corner of the Subaru strike zone, but call the ball by Lance Barrett. Pitch 3 in the Subaru strike zone.
Yeah, you got to get that good feeling back in the Rockies dugout, which means you got to do something with the bats. 2-2.
Guys, I'm paying attention to Trevor's Story. I think he's extremely uncomfortable with his right arm.
He's kind of been shaking it out. Is it his arm, his wrist?
Yeah,
he wants a trainer.
Oh, no.
When did he do it?
He did it on the dive. And he's been in between innings. He's been rubbing his forearm. I can't tell if he did it on the dive, if it was when he landed on the dive or when he threw the baseball.
He's in a lot of pain right now, though.
You gotta look at the right arm.
He's coming out of the game.
Oh, my.
He thought the night couldn't get any worse. That guy has to be really hurting to come off a baseball diamond.
Or look at this, trying to figure out. Was it the elbow, the forearm? Yeah, he's in some pain right there. It's trying to shake it off. You have the adrenaline rush going after you make a play like that, but you can tell that arm is.
I think it's after the throw.
He fired that ball too. I mean,
I think he hurt his elbow after the throw. It's also wide. If you just think back to the way the last out was, Kike Hernandez lining out to Trevor at short. You remember he was running it to first base. I didn't think he wanted to throw it.
well, you know, that one didn't indicate anything to me, Spilly, only because it's unnecessary. I mean, he could have run it over at that point, so he just was making sure and didn't fire it, you know, 115 feet. He just said made the throw easier. I wasn't alarmed by that initially, but obviously there's something there. Trevor Story, who's an Iron Man, doesn't come off the field.
Let's see, not started but one game all year long.
It's going to be Pat Valleca. And he gets to inherit a 2-2 count.
Meeting at the mound was not a situation where Ryu was injured. You saw the interpreter go out also. And now Dave Roberts discussing something with Lance Barrett. I don't know what that would be about.
So I got word it's just 2 games now that Trevor hasn't started all year.
I think he's charged a mound visit. That's clearly, if the pitching coach comes out of the mound visit, I don't know if Dave was asking why is that a mound visit because there was an injury. I mean, it doesn't mean you
have free reign to do whatever you want.
2-2, Valleca at the plate, and Pat lines it to left, and Peterson is out.
Number 7, Matt Holliday.
Two outs and Matt Holliday at the plate. Matt called out on a fastball in the inside corner his first time up. Right now, it feels like you invited to go to the prom, you're all excited, and your ride doesn't show up.
And your date didn't show up.
Right now, a little of both, right? It's been a double whammy.
Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it was your best friend that took your date in your ride.
Yeah, it's starting to feel that way.
Yeah, took the reservation at the restaurant.
Two strikes on Holliday. Ryu with the big leads doing the appropriate thing, pounding the strike zone. He typically does. He doesn't walk a lot of guys.
Well, he just 1 walk in his last 30 innings for Ryu. Just 13 all year.
Dodgers reconfigured their rotation about a week ago, pointing toward this series. And you know, they had a choice. They could have gone with Wood. They could have gone with Hill. They wanted Ryu, and then obviously Kershaw and Buehler. It's no accident that that is how it's aligned. If you're wondering why didn't the Rockies do the same thing, the Rockies couldn't afford to because they were playing that huge series against Arizona, and just the way everything fell, they didn't have that luxury. And of course,
and even though the numbers for Ryu have not been good in the past against the Rockies, he's probably been throwing as well as those other two guys.
There's a Holiday base hit.
Number 20.
Ryu at home this year has a 1.51 ERA.
And the Dodgers have tremendous starting pitching depth. I mean, think about it. Stripling, was moved to the bullpen. Stripling was an all-star. Kenta Maeda, bullpen now. Alex Wood. That guy won't be in the bullpen though. Desmond with 2 outs, and he takes ball 1. Ball on a strike on Desmond.
Well, with Ryu starting tonight, they've had 11 different starting pitchers this year for LA. Yet they don't have anybody in double-digit wins.
In the air to center field, and Bellinger makes the catch. Holiday left the board, middle of 4, 6-0 LA. Question, go to AT&T Sportsnet RM to cast your vote. Which remaining Rockies series will be the biggest challenge? Right now, this one here in Los Angeles is the one in front of them. It's the one team that's their closest pursuers. The Rockies begin the day a half game ahead of the Dodgers. It'll be Ryu leading things off. Harrison Musgrave got the last 3 outs in the 3rd inning. Ray faced the first 6 hitters. All 6 had hits. In fact, the first 7 hitters ended up having hits because Bellinger lined a single to center against Musgrave. And Harrison falls behind Ryu 2-0. 3 balls and a strike. And Musgrave just walked Ryu. Here's remaining schedules for the 3 teams competing for division title. The Rockies will go to Arizona and play 3 down there. That is 4 against the Phillies, 3 against the Nationals. The Phillies have fallen way back in the National League East. The Dodgers, they'll have the Padres in here, and then they'll go on the road to Arizona. They'll finish against their bitter rivals, the Giants, in San Francisco. And Arizona has the Cubs still. The Rockies, the Dodgers, the Padres. And Musgrave misses there. It's ball 1 on Peterson, who's homered and doubled. Yeah, Peterson's 10 for his last 24. He'd been in a pretty big slump prior to that. 7 for 53.
Well, that's part of the challenge for their manager, Dave Roberts. They got so many guys that can play. He does do a lot of platooning.
It's the last inning for Musgrave as he's due up 3rd next inning.
To say about the Dodgers and their remaining schedule, they have Thursday off just like the Rockies do, but then the following Thursday they're also off when the Rockies play that 4th game. That's where you kind of get that extra half game made up, and the Rockies play the Phillies at home.
This ball's tomahawked to deep right, and this is going to sail out. Jock Peterson's having a Yasiel Puig night. 2 homers and a double. Make it 8-0 Los Angeles. This is not how this evening was supposed to go.
215 home runs as a ball club. Only the Yankees have hit more coming into the game. They hit 241. Last year, the Dodgers hit 221 home runs. 8th career multi-home run game for Jock Peterson. I mean, that was a neck-high spinner.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even a strike.
No.
Pretty amazing when you look at the Dodgers lineup and see that they have 5 guys with over 20 home runs. They don't all play.
I don't know if they're all happy. They're all putting a good face on it because they all view themselves as starters. 8th career multi-home run game for Peterson out of Palo Alto High School. Turner robbed of a hit by Story. We think, we're not sure, we think that may be where Trevor hurt his right arm. Where he hurt it, we're not sure. We'll pass along information, obviously, as soon as we have it. And then Turner had a base hit through the right side. Turner got hurt the other day. It was a scary moment for the Dodgers because he is their best hitter in a lineup filled with, guys that certainly can hit the long ball, as we've described. Turner got hit on the wrist on Saturday in that 17-4 blowout of St. Louis. And he came in the next day after the MRI was performed and he had negative x-rays, and he said he was really sore but he wanted to play. Well, he went out Sunday and had a single and a double.
This is scary, especially after you've missed the first 40 games because you had a broken wrist. And when he starts, the Dodgers are 49-32, 17 games above 500. When he doesn't, they're 3 games under.
Talking to people with the Dodgers, they say not only is he the leader on the field, off the field, he takes care of so many small fires within the clubhouse. There's a lot of personalities in there. We're talking about how many players are on this lineup that have had multiple 20 home runs or more. There's actually 8 guys if you can't consider Machado and Brian Dozier, but it's Justin Turner that leads the charge, has those quiet conversations, so Dave Roberts doesn't have to.
Shortstop, Manny Machado.
As he walks, still nobody out with Machado up. Hitters have come up for the Dodgers in this young game, and 13 have reached. Machado had an RBI pop single in the 3rd inning. That was that ball to shallow center that looked like Charlie was going to make the play on. Trevor was going out. Trevor stopped and Charlie stopped, and the ball dropped. One out as Machado hits into the force out. That'll bring up Muncy.
First baseman, Max Muncy.
Muncy a walk in that 3-run home run to right center.
Yeah, that was going to say that was kind of the big blow of this ball game. So you're only down 3 at the time, and then he crunches the first pitch into right center field. Put the Dodgers up 6-0.
There's a strike. Outside, 1-2.
Jigme McGee up for the Rockies in their bullpen.
Again, they want to get Musgrave through this inning. He's due up 3rd in the top of the 5th. And once he's gone. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Puig.
MLB at Bat is your #1 Rockies app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Rockies home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Puig a couple of singles.
Puig's numbers this year are better against right-handers than they are left-handers. I think it's his big swing. He'd favor facing the lefties, hitting just 207 against him.
Actually, I have a theory on that.
Go ahead.
So Yasiel swings with a closed stance, and a lot more lefties in the big leagues now throw back foot sliders to righties. It's not the typical sinker changeup away, not hard throwing lefties anymore. And I think with righties, because right-handers don't have as many pitches, you're not seeing the prototypical sinker baller throwing pitches that can get underneath the right-hander's hands. Yasiel is feasting on forcing fastballs and sliders away, which fits his swing profile.
I could see that theory because the slider, then everything's kind of working towards the barrel. 43 of his 49 starts on the season have been against right-handers.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Puig. Moved up to 5th in the lineup. Good portion of this year he's been in the 8th spot in the lineup. Musgrave strikes him out in the inning. A 2-run home run by Peterson, and the Dodgers extend their lead to 8-0 as we go to the 5th. There's no hidden feeds. That's transparency. That's LAX. It's where you catch a Southwest flight.
That's where we flew into last night.
That is accurate. 7, 8, 9 in the 5th inning. Cargo, Drew Butera, and a pinch hitter against Hyunjin Ryu. Making his 10th career start against the Rockies. He rocked a 5.77 ERA in the first 9 against Colorado.
Giving up 28 earned runs in 43 2/3.
958 OPS. And the Dodgers, when he started, 3-6. But tonight's been a different story. 3 home runs hit, 8 runs for the Dodgers. One and two. And that is strike 3. There have been 3 strikeouts for Ryu, all of them called third strikes.
And all of them on fastballs. Subaru Supermo. Cargo thought that was inside by the reaction.
Drew Butera fouled out along the first base line. His first at bat. Curveball's outside. Ball 1. And another strike. 1 and 2. You know, when you look at those takes, Billy, your field level, it's almost as if they're not picking up Ryu.
we've seen the Rockies not pick up Ryu in the past, and tonight Ryu is working both sides of the plate, so he's pitching efficiently and effectively. There you go.
That ball's lined to deep left, and a leaping snow cone catch made by Peterson. He gives the kid a high five. He's having a pretty good night.
Yeah, when you hit a couple home runs and a double, and then you make a snow cone catch, you can have some fun with it. Right off the bat that it was going to be a base hit, maybe extra base hits for Drew Butera. Instead, it's hang with him. Watch the snow cone on the Subaru Supermo.
Yeah, a little fist bump.
Tom Murphy will pinch hit for Harrison Musgrave.
Murphy twists that into the crowd foul. Two strikes. DJ Johnson looks like he'll be next into the ball game for the Rockies. Oh, 2. And a strikeout of Murphy. 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning for Ryu. Middle of 5. It's all Los Angeles.
Cody Bellinger, one of several All-Stars on this Dodgers team. And if you're talking to Dave Roberts, yeah, it's a good thing, but he also says it's his greatest challenge, managing so many guys who are used to being the guy. I asked him what his approach to this challenge is.
A lot of conversations and trying to sell them on giving us the best chance to win a championship, and understanding that and appreciating that although you're not starting, you have a potential to impact our game, the game that particular night.
It isn't necessarily a bad thing to have so many talented guys on your lineup, but it does pose different challenges, as we were talking about earlier, guys.
Well, it's where guys have to, you know, divorce their ego and put the greater good in front of them, and it's not always easy. I mean, everybody wants to play, and when you have a bunch of players that are used to starting, have an expectation to start, it's not easy. And I'll tell you where it really comes up is DJ Johnson is ahead quickly 0-2 on Bellinger. It comes up when there's a lefty on the mound, like Freeland tomorrow, like Tyler Anderson on Wednesday, because that's when he has had Bellinger on the bench and Muncy on the bench and Peterson on the bench, and those guys are used to playing every day. And you know, I don't care who you are, you can talk all you want about team, and yes, they all want to win a championship on both sides, but you want to play, you want to start if
no
that's
doubt.
what you believe you are. This ball's lined to Carr going right.
I think two things with that little snippet from Dave Roberts is, one, what Spilly mentioned already, the veteran guy in Justin Turner. I'm sure he's put out a lot of those fires saying, hey guys, we kind of need you here. And so he'll handle a little bit of Dave Roberts' dirty work as far as that goes. But the second thing is, we've seen Dave, when there's been a righty or, you know, a lefty that starts and then you go to a righty in the bullpen, I mean, it's almost like a hockey line change.
He's pulling the defenseman too.
That's right.
He had
He'll put five
straight
forwards out there.
He
wants some scoring.
That's right. He had 5 straight pinch hitters in the middle of a game in Denver last week. Grandal takes strike 1. He's hit the ball in the air twice to Cargo.
Well, there's aspects about playing team baseball where most guys are all for it. I want a championship ring. I'll do whatever it takes. But it also switches up in September, and you know this. Once you have the rosters expand, you have 40 guys or 36, I think is what the Dodgers have. Cage time becomes harder and harder to get. And you're trying to get your swing right, you're trying to compete, but there's so many more people in the month of September that it's not as easy to all pull on the same rope and try to get these limited at-bats when you have so many people around you. And I think that's another added element that these Dodgers are having to deal with. All teams deal with it in September. Good strikeout by DJ.
No doubt about it. And I think that's why this winter you're going to see the conversation again about some of the rules being changed in September.
Every year we have this conversation in September, and every offseason when nothing changes, I'm mystified. It makes no sense. You play the sport with a 25-man roster for 5 months, and then in the most important month of the year, you can have 40 guys in the dugout. And I get it from the player's standpoint. You want guys to get their feet wet at the big league level, get service time. 100% behind that. Let them get their service time, but at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you have to designate the 25, or maybe if you want a 26, that are eligible to play that night. That's how it should roll.
Yeah, I think the Phillies game yesterday, though, is the game that might be the straw that broke the camel's back. Meaning that there was a game yesterday between the Phillies and the Marlins. They used 15 pitchers, and there was 0 at-bats by a pitcher from either team. First time ever that's happened in the National
What that
League.
may do is throw more support for people to see the DH in the National League. Maybe more
Well, I
than
mean,
the
they were
roster
pinch hitting
did.
in the second inning in that game.
Yeah. But, and you know, it turns into glorified spring training games for the teams that are out of it. When you have a team out of it, playing a team out of it.
It's kind of like the 38 or 40 bowls that happen in college football. That some of the, a lot of the younger kids and, you know, guys get to play in those bowl games, and it's an extra practice time for them too.
We'll see if anything transpires this offseason. One and 2 on Hernandez. That's strike 3. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, so it's a 1-2-3 fifth inning for DJ Johnson. Dodgers up 8-0.
around the corner, and October is still heating up. The Rockies dugout stores are your one-stop shop for all fall weather gear and player merchandise. Check out any of the 5 area locations.
Rockies at the top of the order in the 6th inning. Blackman, LeMahieu, Arenado. Colorado's been limited to 3 hits. Blackman has one of the hits. It was a double that was hit well, but quite frankly was misplayed by Jock Peterson. The other hit, a Nolan infield hit in the 1st inning, and Matt Holliday with a sharp single through the right side in the 4th inning. Ryu's ready, and a curveball is popped up, shallow left field. 1 out.
Second baseman DJ LeMahieu.
LeMahieu comes up. A fly ball to center and a ground ball to second tonight for DJ. It's interesting, the advanced metrics I was looking at today, even though the Rockies had a miserable 3 days in San Francisco other than winning yesterday, that obviously was a big positive, but a miserable time offensively. 3 runs in 27 innings. They've been shut out through 5 1/3 tonight. They have by far led baseball in September in hard hit rate. In other words, baseball's hit at more than 95 miles an hour off the bat. 2 outs. They're number 1 at a little more than 43%. Number 2, the Dodgers.
I thought we saw a few of those balls that were hit. There were 7 or 8 balls that were hit hard the other day that nothing to show for it. This one was not hit hard, but Ryu hops off the mound, spins and throws, gets DJ by a couple steps.
Nolan a single and a fly ball to the wall in deep left center that was caught out there by Bellinger. Since the start of last year, Nolan's hit .345 against the Dodgers with 11 home runs. Takes a strike.
The other thing too in this game with that early lead, it's just allowed Ryu just kind of sit back and not have a lot of stress on him.
Yeah, but it is disappointing that with 2 outs in the 6th inning and a 2-strike count on Nolan that you're talking about 3 hits, and it could very well be 1 hit tonight. This is kind of a carryover from San Francisco, and you say, well, they fell behind early and so on, but you still got guys going up to the plate trying to do some damage, and nothing much is happening. It is certainly easier, to your point.
No, that's all. I'm just talking
lead.
about Ryu and his ability just to go out there and feel relaxed.
Sure.
No, I understand what you're saying about the offense.
It's a broken bat, fair ball, low throw, and it's picked by Muncy at first. And that's 7 in a row retired by Ryu. 8-0 LA. Back to Dodger Stadium in a moment. Sixth inning, it's Ryu, Peterson, Turner. Ryu walked his last time up and scored on a 2-run home run by Jock Peterson, who's been the hitting star tonight for LA. Second inning of work for DJ Johnson. Had a 1-2-3 fifth, including a couple of punch outs.
I was watching Steve Foster check in with DJ Johnson, make sure he was okay to go out for the second inning of work. DJ was primarily used as a closer in AAA this year.
I'm getting excited because Ryu sends this to pretty deep right field. Cargo pulls it down, 1 out. Time for the Coors Light refreshing finish. Jock Peterson tonight. A home run in the bottom of the first inning against John Gray. It's going to be a precursor to the rest of his evening. He had a double his next time up, and that ball he just tomahawked out of here to right center field. Came against Harrison Musgrave, 3 for 3. A couple of home runs, he's driven in 3.
That first home run, 103 miles an hour off the bat.
It's a towering pop-up that is playable in foul ground. Nolan comes over and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Finally retire Peterson, as I was saying, 103 miles an hour, 109, 104 were the 3 hits that he had tonight.
Yeah, there's an example of what we were talking about earlier, fellas, with how deep their roster is, with all of the people they've picked up. Peterson is going to hit 2 home runs and have at least a double tonight. He'll probably get a 5th at bat. Potentially could get a 5th at bat. And there's a real strong likelihood he ain't in the lineup tomorrow.
I don't think he is.
Turner will be. He's the one guy that doesn't need to check the lineup. He's going to hit second every night. Machado is the other guy. Everybody else needs to look at the lineup card.
There's an aspect to this where I don't think the viewer at home understands what it means to come to the field every single day looking at the lineup card and wondering if you're going to be in there or not. It changes your routine as a player. That's all players want, is a typical daily routine.
Now, if you're a normal regular, like we use the Rockies, for example, if you're Charlie Blackmon and he's running out of fuel, you know, they're going to have a discussion the night before, and Buddy's going to let him know, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a blow tomorrow. You know, Charlie, if he isn't running out of gas, may protest, and they'll have that conversation. But if you're a regular, you're going to be told the night before. That's how Buddy runs things. And I don't know how Dave Roberts does it on the LA side. He may do exactly the same thing, but there's more guys in impacts.
Yeah, so instead of just selling one guy, you might have to chase down 4 or 5 guys.
Right.
To say, hey, you know what, tomorrow you're not playing because they got a lefty or a righty, whatever the case may be. In Rocky's case, it's Scott Freeland tomorrow.
So there's 2 ways to go about letting the players know. I preferred having the player being told the night before, you're going to be in there tomorrow or you're not going to be in there tomorrow. But I've also seen some managers take the approach of not telling him so you can have all their players expecting to play the next day. Doesn't always work great.
Turner shoots that into left field past the diving Pat Valleca for a base hit.
Shortstop, number 8.
Justin Turner was robbed by Trevor in the first inning, and this is where we think that Trevor might have been hurt because he's out of the game now. Pat Valleca's been out there for a couple innings, and this ball, again with a lot of topspin, he's diving on the Subaru Supermo, goes over the top of his glove. That's what Justin Turner can do. He can hit that heavy topspin like somebody would in tennis, where it just bounds and then it takes off.
Turner 2 for 3 and a walk. Tapia is in the ball game in center field for Blackmon. Rockies down 8-0. They've been out hit 10-3. Machado's 1 for 3. Right field, and this will not be playable for Cargo. Foul ball in the same direction. Oh, 2, good pitch, strikes out Machado. Turner left at first. Good innings for DJ Johnson. The Dodgers leading 8-0 as Pat Valleca is going to lead things off. Again, he's playing for Trevor Story. He had to leave in the 4th inning with a 2-2 count. We're still awaiting word as to what the injury is. We
just saw a moment ago that Pat's 0 for 1, even though he did come in at that at bat for Trevor midway through the at bat. Is credited to him since he lined out.
Two and two.
Huey, have you ever hurt your throwing arm making a diving play?
Yeah, it's a stinger too. Usually it happens in the shoulder when you hyperextend it when you lay out.
It's a base hit for Pat.
But it looked like Trevor, when he was swinging, it was more like a wrist elbow.
I was watching him in between innings, rubbing his flexor, like right by his elbow, the forearm flexor tendon. And that's not a good tendon to hurt.
Hopefully we'll get word that
Probably won't come to the post game. Matt, a strikeout and a single to right. I don't think that Matt's played back-to-back ball games yet, but you would figure with Kershaw going tomorrow that Matt will be in there in back-to-back ball games.
Well, I think he will be.
Just don't think you can afford not to have him in there, especially since right now he's one of the very, very few guys that is putting together good at bats. On top of that, you know, there is no tomorrow, so to speak.
And with the right-hander going Wednesday, he wouldn't play Wednesday. Thursday's an off day.
Matt has said that his body's holding up just fine. He's not taking he's not getting a lot of soreness in his legs. His elbows feel fine. His joints feel good.
Two and two.
That's good news, because you do need his bat in there, especially against Kershaw.
That's the first out of the inning, a strikeout. It is the fifth strikeout tonight for Ryu.
Well, the Colorado Rockies Make an Impact program is a free elementary school assembly that entertains and shows students how to make an impact on their lives and communities. Visit Rockies.com/community for more information. To go along with the 5 strikeouts for Ryu, it's been 7 ground ball outs, 7 flyouts.
Desmond hitting .308 in the month of September. Ground out and a fly out for him tonight. Two and 0. Count. Rockies hitting in the 7th inning. They have now scored in 1 inning of their last 33 on this road trip. It took Senzatella's 2-run single in the second yesterday to snap a 20-inning drought offensively.
And hitting just around 170 on this road trip.
They have not had a base hit, drive in a run by a position player since they were in Denver.
Yikes.
Yeah, that'd be a yikes, right? 3 and 2. And the only start for Ryu that's rivaled this one tonight this year was 7 shutout on April 21st against Washington. He allowed only 2 hits that ball game. He walked 3, struck out 8.
He's probably getting close to his pitch limit tonight, too, with the big lead.
That's a double play ball. Rockies got a base hit by Valleca, nothing else. So now it's 34 innings and counting, unfortunately. But the Rockies have not scored. They're down 8-0. The first batter for the Dodgers tonight was Jock Peterson. He went opposite field for a home run. And then Max Muncy would hit a 3-run home run. John Gray lasted just 2+ innings. Then a home run by Peterson again against Harrison Musgrave. And the Rockies have not been able to figure out Ryu all night. Trevor Story may be the biggest concern of all, because he had to leave with some sort of ailment. And now, maybe the concern grows even more, because Pat Valleca was at short, and Ian Desmond was at the position he most notably plays, at first base. They just switched, and they put Desmond at short and Valleca at first. Now, I don't want to read too much into that.
It's hard not to.
But it's hard not to, right?
I kind of look at this as maybe a preview. If Trevor's not able to go tomorrow, is what you're looking at infield-wise if you're going up against Clayton Kershaw. Give Devsy a couple innings of reps at shortstop tonight.
I just rarely see a position player taking a bat where they come out of their at-bat grimacing, holding their arm, and playing the next day, let alone they're throwing them.
Brian Shaw's in the ball game. His last appearance came 8 days ago, actually, against the Dodgers.
This is just his second appearance in the month of September.
One on Muncy, 2-1 on Muncy. TJ Johnson, good work. 2 scoreless innings, a hit, 3 strikeouts. Foul ball.
TJ Johnson's been a welcome surprise, I think, for the coaching staff. Everybody's so happy for him when he was called up first time in his professional career to make it to the major leagues, and he's pitched extremely well. There's talent there. There's a 95-mile-an-hour cut fastball with a curveball. I think he's shown to Darren Holmes and to Steve Foster that he has the ability to get outs.
I think he's positioned himself well heading into next year, too.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Muncy. Yeah, he's got a swing and miss breaking ball, and he's still got plenty of fastball. That's low, ball 4. That'll bring up Puig. 2 singles and a strikeout tonight for Puig.
Yasiel Puig.
Puig's first year, Billy, he had an OPS plus of almost 160. And then, after that, there was some, there were plenty of conversations that he could be a distraction in the clubhouse. The productivity dropped off. He was actually sent out late last year to the minor leagues. And since he's come back, and you give Dave Roberts a lot of credit, he's been a different guy. The productivity is up, and the maturity level, by most people's assessment, is way up. He fouls out here to Vallejo, 1 out.
Well, he'll still make plays that are head scratchers. Today he got thrown out at third base on a wild pitch, which was probably uncalled for.
Wild horse.
He's the wild horse, and Turner Ward has to be given a lot of credit. That's a Dodgers hitting coach. He has really taken Yasiel under his wing. And even Brant Brown, that's the assistant hitting coach for the Dodgers. The relationship that they've built with Yasiel over the last couple of years has translated into his performance on the field. And last year, going back to Dave Roberts, should be an easy play for DJ. I think I just watched Max Muncy trip over second base.
Well, if you're not looking, Spilly, it can get you.
But Dave Roberts hit Yasiel Puig 8th last year throughout the course of the year to take all that extra pressure off himself.
Grandal comes up with 2 outs and Muncy at second. Alex Wood. He's thrown in the Dodger bullpen.
Ryu with 93 pitches tonight. With the lead, get him out of there, get Alex Wood a little bit of work.
One and 2 count on Grandal. What's interesting about the Dodgers, they're 39 and 36 at home. They've been a much better road team this year than here at Chavez Ravine.
11 games over out on the road.
The Dodgers are that run differential darling that everybody loves to talk about, but it's also one half of the argument. They're 21 and 21 in 1-run games. The Rockies on the other side of that are 26 and 14, 12 games over.
Foul ball. Muncy walked. He's at second after fielder's choice. And a strikeout will end the inning. Grandal goes down against Shaw. We go to the 8th inning. 8-0 LA. outstanding 7 shutout innings. He allowed just 4 hits, struck out 5, didn't walk a batter. And it was a tough day at the office for John Gray. 2 innings plus, he gave up 6 runs and a couple of home runs among the 7 hits he allowed.
Now on the hill for the Dodgers is Alex Wood, who's 8-7 with a 365. 27 games started for Alex, but he has pitched some in relief in his career 37 times. Most of that was prior to 2017. Second relief appearance in the last 2 years for Alex Wood.
Now that's how deep they are. I mean, you look at a guy who has a 3.65 ERA and the batting average against is very fine. And now he's in the bullpen, as we were talking about earlier, with Maeda and Stripling also.
And that's what salary allows you to do. It's not just certain players, it's depth.
Big time, and that's why in September it favors, again, the teams that have extremely deep pockets. You know, some of the Dodger moves get big headlines, and not all of them have worked out. You know, John Axford got hurt. They went and got Madsen from Washington. He has not pitched well. Brian Dozier was a big celebrated move, and understandably so. Brian's had a great career, but he's hit below 190 in a Dodger uniform. Machado's been good. He has not been great. His numbers have not been near what he's done in Baltimore. This ball's hit the deep center. 1 out. A lot of changes to tell you about. Kike Hernandez has moved from second to third. Chris Taylor's now at short. The aforementioned Brian Dozier is at second base, and Alex Verdugo is in right field. Outside on Butera. Well, we invite you always to stick around for the Toyota postgame show. And tonight, you're going to hear, I'm sure, a little bit more about the extent of Trevor Story's injury.
I think that's
which is
the one
heavy on everybody's mind.
Yeah, that's the one that's heavy on my mind. And maybe they've even already sent him to the hospital for some x-rays on that arm to see if they can see anything.
You know, you always worry about when a guy as tough as Trevor basically takes himself out of the game.
Calls the trainer out because you know he wanted to try to gut through it.
Well, and he was getting through it. He was shaking his arm out that last at bat, and it was one swing. And he looked immediately into the Rockies dugout and called Keith Duggar out. Scotty Garrett. Something wasn't right.
Garrett Hampson's going to pinch hit here.
Who's hitting? Number 1, Garrett Hampson.
Hampson played down the road at Long Beach State. He's from Reno, Nevada. Garrett was great high school point guard also in Reno. Good to hear a member of the Beach Boys chiming in tonight. Ball on a strike.
When you come to California, you think of the Beach Boys, right?
Yeah, still. The Eagles, the Doors. Billy, who's your favorite Southern California band? You grew up here.
Growing up, it was Sublime.
Outside, 2-1.
I'll have to play their music for you later, Drew.
Thank you.
Me too, please.
I thought it was the Fashion Monsters. Oh, that's not the band. That's just the song.
Carrie Pamu Pamu.
Proud of me that I always remember that song though.
I wish I'd
never told me.
There's a lot of things in Japan that I wish never happened. Picking that song, Fashion Monster, and the story goes, it was during spring training in Japan in Nango. That's where it's like a nice coastal town. And the first song I heard as we started our calisthenics warm-up, which is basically 10 laps around the field, was a song called Fashion Monster, and that was the only lyric.
That hits Hampson. Ten laps to get loose. We're ready for the marathon.
15, right.
Who Wants Tacos fans? We invite you to follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Tapia came in for Charlie an inning ago to play center field, a couple innings ago. So this is his first at bat. Charlie had a double and 3 ABs. Look out, Stu Cold. And the Dodger dugout. He brought Machado off the field to the safety of the dugout, and that almost hit him.
It was going to be okay.
Tapia in the air to left. Peterson makes the catch. That's out number 2.
Second baseman DJ LeMahieu.
DJ's 0 for 3.
I don't think DJ makes the last out. Even if he doesn't, they'll get him off the field after this half inning. Leave Garrett in to play second. Put the pitcher into DJ or Nolan spot if DJ does reach.
Final, by the way, down in Phoenix, the Cubs beat the Diamondbacks 5-1. Arizona picked the wrong time of year because the Rockies contributed to their demise.
Patrick Corbin started the game for Arizona. Cal Hendrick for the Cubs.
You know, the Diamondbacks, and it's not even close, led this division, this competitive NL West, for the vast majority of the year. The Rockies have been 28 days in first place, including today. But Arizona 125. This is line to center, a base hit. That'll get the Rockies on the board. Here comes Butera home. Hampson goes first to third. DJ makes it 8-1.
This is the first hit with a runner in scoring position on this road trip by a position player. They're now 2 for 20. DJ with his 58th RBI.
And that's going to be all for Alex Wood. 8-1.
And your attention, please.
DJ LeMahieu, so now John Axford is going to come aboard. Here's what we were talking about a moment ago. Dave's in first place this year. Arizona 125, the Dodgers 30, the Rockies 28. Unless something changes dramatically, the Dodgers will go back into first place by a half game tomorrow. Nolan to face Axford right now, with runners at first and third. You know, last year, as Nolan takes a strike, on this date, the Rockies had the exact same record they currently do of 82-67. Rockies would make the postseason as a wild card with 87 wins. 3 teams coming out of the NL West. But the Rockies were 13.5 behind the Dodgers. The Dodgers had already won, excuse me, 14.5, because the Dodgers had already won 96 last year.
Yeah, on their way to 104 wins on the season.
And Arizona ended up with 93 wins last year. So 93 or 94?
93.
93,
yeah.
Right? And now you see this year the same record had the Rockies in first place. Nolan, an infield hit, fly ball to deep center, and a ground ball to third. He's behind 1-2 against Axford.
Axford just activated off the DL today. He missed 30 ball games after having his leg fractured fibula.
That just missed. He's still got the big arm. 2-2. Hampson at third base, and DJ's at first. That bat blew up, and this ball is going to drop. And another run scores. Throw to third, and out there is DJ. Run will count. Nolan gets his 101st RBI. It's 8-2. Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees, that's transparency. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Rockies fell behind early in this ball game. John Gray gave up 6 runs in 2+ innings. It's 8-2 now as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And a couple more changes for the Rockies. Sam Howard is now on the bump. Nolan has come out of the ball game at third base. Ryan McMahon is now stationed over there.
And this is the 3rd appearance for Sam. Made his 2nd on Monday. That was the first time since he made his debut back in June against Arizona. Each of those appearances, just 1 inning, giving up 1 hit each time. Ryan McMahon now at third base in the double switch for Nolan after he had the bloop single.
And that first pitch misses, ball 1 to Hernandez. Kike's 0 for 3, lined to short twice, one time with the runner going, so it turned into a double play. Again, the pitching matchup tomorrow, great one. Kyle Freeland, Clayton Kershaw. And that is a base hit.
Coors Field's a great place for group outings.
Number 3.
Some 20 or more receive discounted pricing, scoreboard recognition, and more. Call the Rockies for more information.
11th hit tonight for the Dodgers. This will be the first at bat for Chris Taylor, who's now at shortstop. Billy, fair to say that Taylor's become one of those launch angle guys?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about his career in the big leagues, he had 1 home run in his time with the Seattle Mariners organization, then comes over and he starts hitting a bunch of home runs.
But and you look at the path, though, right? First
not,
2 swings.
It's not just about swinging up and trying to purposefully lift the baseball. It's understanding what gets your swing to be on plane sooner. And then looking for those pitches that you can handle. You can't lift every single pitch.
That's lifted high in the air to left center field. Tapia.
Take a look at Taylor's swing from the side. He took some pieces of guys' swings that he liked. He loved Nolan's back foot load. There's a pitch up, so he's taking what he feels is his natural swing, but looking for pitches up.
You know, earlier when we were talking about the guys who are going to peel off the bench to face lefties like Freeland and Tyler Anderson, we forgot to mention Matt Kemp, or at least I forgot to mention Matt Kemp.
Well, at least for the first half of the season, was it kind of been some of the conversations for MVP, comeback player of the year, whatever category you wanted to put him in.
Yeah, I mean, the overall numbers did tail off, but they're still quite good.
285, 19, and 77.
One and one on Kemp. Not called a strike. Looked like it had the upper reaches of the zone. 2-1. One out. Here's a 2-2 to Kemp. 3-2. Full count again, and another foul ball by Matt Kemp.
He's peppering the inside of that Subaru strike zone. Trying to keep Kemp from getting those arms extended.
So many similar numbers between the Rockies and Dodgers in how they've done against the West, for instance, how they've done out on the road. There's a good pitch by Howard. He finally strikes out Kemp. Dodgers came in 35-29 inside the division. The Rockies 38-32. Here comes Brian Dozier.
That's why you look at it. These, hey, you throw even Arizona in the mix. Yeah, they're all kind of around the same as what they've done within the division.
One 1-0 on Dozier. Brian hitting 189 with the Dodgers.
They kind of thought when they traded for him, he'd be the answer for the leadoff spot and the everyday second base job.
He had a great first week. But that was about it.
2-1. He's got 4 home runs in a Dodger uniform. He has a home run against the Rockies. He's one of those quick strike leadoff guys, not a high on base percentage leadoff guy.
He's going to try to jump on you and hit a home run.
Yeah, he has a 329 on base percentage all those years leading off in Minnesota. You need love above 350, but he can give you a 1-0 lead. That's club foul. And he's been in an extended funk. He's just 3 for his last 40. Crowd of 45,907 tonight at Dodger Stadium.
Late arriving and early leaving.
Well, unfortunately, the Dodgers going up by 8 runs and sustaining that through most of this game. A lot of folks felt like this one was in the hip pocket. It's 8-2 right now. And this is hit well to left. If it's fair, it's gone. It's a foul ball.
Dozier reminds me of Dan Ugla.
Call.
Without the forearms.
Yeah, without the forearms. So Dozier, much better second baseman than Ugla defensively.
Dan Ugla looks like, remember back in the day they used to have the wrist, and they still do, the wrist wrestling
Yeah.
championships. There'd be some, like somewhere on the strip in Vegas. And those guys had monster forearms. That's what Dan Ugla reminded me of. That misses. So Hernandez to second, Dozier to first.
Wasn't Ugla a Rule 5?
Dan Ugla was a Rule 5.
Number 17, Kyle Farmer.
Kyle Farmer's going to pinch hit here. This is the pitcher spot. Used to be occupied by Machado. Two strikes. Popped up near the Rockies dugout and into the Rockies dugout.
We still have a lot of foul territory behind home plate, not as much as there once was.
Now this is a place where there used to be a ton of room in foul territory before they added all those blue seats, and that's another reason it was a great pitcher's park. You get an extra couple outs a ball game.
I mean, it wasn't Oakland extra outs.
Oakland needed an Uber ride to get to the plate from the dugout.
Down the lines over to the bullpens.
Spilly'd wear out those precious boots of his making that walk.
I'll never forget the minor leagues Bakersfield, where the Bakersfield Blaze play. The way that their dugouts were set up, the dugouts didn't start until first base, and they would carry off over. So you'd have 2 or 3 guys on the on-deck circle because it took so long to walk up to home plate.
And that hits Farmer. So now Howard has the bases loaded. Single, walk, hit by pitch, and Max Muncy coming up.
Trying to go inside, then he hits him with a off-speed pitch that grazes off the dirt and then the toe of Farmer.
One 1-0 on Muncy with a 3-run home run to really break this game open in the 3rd inning. That made it 6-0. And it's 2-0. 2 balls and a strike. And it's 3-1. Out of play, 3-2. Bases full of Dodgers. 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th. And that's fouled off.
I know that score says 8-2 for the Dodgers, but Sam Howard is being in these situations as a young pitcher. You kind of have to treat it like it's nothing. That's your mentality.
You're trying to make an impression.
That's right.
This is in the air to shallow center. Tapia, DJ. It'll be DJ to end the inning. So we'll go to the 9th, 8-2, LA. Lakey getting ready. Yimi Garcia is on the hill now for the Dodgers, and Andrew Tolles is in left field.
Garcia, another pitcher that the Dodgers activated before the game, because he was brought up from Rancho Cucamonga. He'd missed the last 43 games with right forearm inflammation.
Well, another guy that they had pitching a game over the weekend in St. Louis, that big 17-4 blowout on Saturday, that's back in the mix, is Urias. Another young starter who's going to work out of the bullpen down the stretch. On one hop, Chris Taylor throws out Valleca. Holiday tonight is 1 for 3.
Solid single to right field for Matt.
Strike one on that slider.
Well, it's going to be up to Kyle Freeland tomorrow to go out and set the tone early. Got to find a little bit of offense from Clayton Kershaw, or against Clayton, I should say.
Well, the
Rockies, I think the hard thing to think about right now, though, Drew, is, you know, it's just one game. I mean, you're a half game back. Tonight was awful.
Yeah, it's one game, and you're right there, and that's I'm sure what Buddy's going to say. The game becomes a little bit secondary now to the condition of Trevor Story moving forward. And regardless, I mean, you're going to have to, you know, carry on. The Rockies have marched this far, and they have a great opportunity. Tonight was a bad night. But to your point, Kyle Freeland can set the tone early tomorrow, and the Rockies offense has to pick it up, obviously. 35 innings, they've scored in only 2. And it doesn't matter who's out there. It doesn't matter the resume. Yeah, Clayton Kershaw is a future Hall of Famer. He can be had. In his last outing, 6 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned, 8 hits against St. Louis.
Throws a lot more breaking pitches now than he used to.
Well,
Right? That's the difference in young Clayton and a little bit older Clayton.
One of the highest breaking ball usage rates in the major leagues. Interestingly, with the guy the Rockies started tonight, John Gray.
Yeah, he was 5th.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Matt. Garcia kind of works under that baseball, and he whips it toward the plate in the mid-90s. That one ran back toward Matt's head. He ducked out of the way. 3-2. I wouldn't think this guy's a comfortable AB for a right-handed hitter.
No.
And Matt walks.
Looks like Noel Cuevas is going to come down and run for Matt.
Yeah, I would think you wouldn't want to stress Matt out on the base pass, since he's probably going to be back in there tomorrow.
Number 56.
Desmond at the plate. Oh for 3. Ground ball to third, fly ball to center, and a 4-6-3 double play tonight.
What this victory does do for LA, it ensures the season series against the Rockies. And that would have implications if it comes down to a tie. That they would get to host the tie-breaking game.
Yeah, with less than 2 weeks to play, the Rockies, the Dodgers, and the Cardinals, with close to identical records. 2 outs. Dave Roberts is going to make a pitching change. This is right out of Bruce Bochy's book. I guess for whatever reason, Dave wants to get another guy in the ball game, get some work. He's got some guys coming off the DL. Kyle Freeland will make his 31st start. He's had a wonderful year, looking for his 16th victory, and he'll be opposed by Clayton Kershaw. He's got a 2.51 ERA. We're on the air at 7:30 back in the Mountain Time Zone right here on AT&T Sportsnet with the pregame show. Tony Cingrani, I understand this from Dave Roberts' perspective. He has not pitched since June the 6th. So trying to get him a little work. Cargo's at the plate. Cuevas will take second. Defensive indifference. They have 15 guys in their bullpen right now, and something you don't see very frequently. You know, you got all the lefties, you have all the righties, and you have a guy who can pitch from both sides, and Pat Venditti, who's actually pitching really well.
That's the first time I've had to write in my book an S for a
switch pitcher.
Yeah, switch pitcher.
And there's a balk from Cingrani. Cuevas being awarded third base. There's no third baseman over there anyways.
Cargo swings and misses at a high offering. It's 1-1. Cargo's 0 for 3.
I don't think Dave Roberts would have done this move with anybody else but Cingrani, who is just coming off the DL. The last 3 guys all came off the DL today.
Yeah, he got work for Axford, Garcia, Cingrani, and Urias over the weekend. One, two. Two runs to 6 hits for the Rockies tonight. 3-2. Pretty clear what they're trying to get Cargo to do.
Go upstairs and chase the high one.
Yeah. There's David Dahl if Cargo reaches. And that's a bullet that's caught to end the ball game. Cingrani makes the catch, and the Rockies fall 8-2 tonight in Los Angeles. They also fall out of first place. They're now a half game behind LA. The Rockies fell behind early, and the Dodgers didn't win this one. It turned into a clunker for Colorado. They fall to 82-68, and the Dodgers improved to 83-68. Ryu, the victor. He's 5-3. Gray takes the loss. He's 11-8 as we go to our Denver studios, and we'll get an update, I'm sure, during this post-game show on Trevor's story. Here's Jenny and Corey. Jenny?